Being awake is suffering.
Being awake is suffering. Being asleep is nice. Being asleep too much is suffering.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
awful.
Being asleep too long and getting to that point where it just hurts to lay down is the real true worst state. And
I don't think I've ever gotten there.
oh yeah, no, when you get sick and you spend all day in bed, you end up being in bed for so long that like you are just sore and busted, and it sucks. And then you kind of have to stand up and like spend your time on your feet in ways that are not fun, but lying down hurts. You never had that?
No.
No.
I mean, the last time that I can remember ever being like that was the God damn it. It was the E3 where y'all came to my house and they showed off the Breath of the Wild thing. Remember they had the huge Breath of the Wild stream that lasted like 10 hours?
Yeah.
And I got the flu real bad. And I was like sweating and being very ill in my room, like 10 feet away from you guys. And you guys were like 3-4 hours into the stream before I walked out and said, "You guys gotta get the fuck out of here." And you all were like, "Oh man," and you all grumbled on the way out. And then I basically slept for like 4 days after that, and it was great. Like time travel occurred.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the last time I got the flu too.
I've had
and it will be the last time I ever get the flu.
Right.
We're going on 75 days inside.
You're counting? Why would you do that?
Well, because it's fun.
There's no, it's not fun to count. I don't find it fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't find it fun to count. But I will say that as
we can go back in time and be like, the last day that I was outside, like for real, more than like 1 foot away from my door to move my garbage over, was I think the day of the podcast that you were making fun of me for being a hoarder. And then like the day after or the day of, Italy shut down and then Quebec started to get bad, and I was like, okay, no, go out now.
I assume you're not counting runs.
What runs?
Like to grab anything?
What runs?
Okay, all right. I've had runs to pick up stuff from here.
The mail has provided.
All right, fair enough. Well, most
that I have not walked more than 1 foot away from this house.
I have
in 75 days.
Okay. Well, I've been doing delivery and orders as well, but there's times when you also need to supplement that with a quick run to go get things that you need. So
nope.
Okay.
Not sure.
Well, I will say,
unless you're buying drugs,
I will say that hey, you can legally get
how many
those.
drugs do you need?
You can legally get those in the mail now too. So
yeah. Well, we did that. That never works. That shit delivery wise was always unreliable before, but now it's just impossible.
Is it?
Not like, oh yeah, like before this, you would always go and everything good would always be sold out, and now everything is just sold out.
Totally can't get nothing, huh?
Oh, you've been getting your drugs in the mail?
I mean, what?
I mean, I couldn't get them before. I assumed you wouldn't be able to get them now. Do they upsell on production or some shit?
Like 72 hours, dude.
Oh, weird.
Well, anyway.
Well, we're good.
Yeah. Well, anyway. At least as far as CBD is concerned, but when it comes to
crack or heroin,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You still got to have the guy come to your house, and it's awkward.
So, the thing that I've been noticing as time has been going on is that like that there's definitely folks that I know are getting increasingly like sort of the more extroverted of my friends are having the hardest time dealing with things, obviously, you know, and like a lot of
That's pretty obvious. I have a friend or two who I wouldn't say they're losing it,
yeah.
but I would say that they're encountering a period of prolonged irritability
And
where they're just a little bit on edge.
yeah, Zoom meetings are more than just a funsy. They're an absolute necessity for some folks, and it's starting to, you know, like really hit those limits. I mean, you know, amongst other things, of course, but I guess it's just one of those times where I was like, oh wow, introversion superpowers feel really good right now.
Oh yeah, I mean we talked about that. I want to say like the second week, but like
Well, it's been 2
everyone
months
gets to
now.
live my lifestyle.
Yeah, but like in terms of
Like
but in terms of like, if every day there's a little, you take a step and there's a little poison number that
mhm.
you know, I feel like we have some really strong equipment so that in the end it's like, well, I mean, certainly it is shitty to not be able to, you know, do all things, but all I'm saying is I feel like I've taken way less damage than some people that I know and I can see online are taking a lot more damage, and some of the more extroverted friends I have, you know.
Yeah, like the core group of people that I talk to the most often are almost all MMO players, and it's like nothing is going on.
Right. Right.
Like I I am good friends with a healthcare worker, and for them, shit is definitely going on. But all in all, the day to day for most of the people that I know, meh. I think my dad is having the hardest time out of it all, honestly.
I wonder what hikikoki culture is like right now. I wonder,
Probably lit.
is it a pop?
Probably like
Is it
our time is now,
it's
dude.
popping off? Teach us the ways. Could it be that, or could it be that it's like, oh, all these new heeks are not these new hikis are not you know, they're not down with the culture. They haven't been here the whole time.
Look at these new people. They were not forced into the basement by society.
No, they were.
They chose the basement.
The new people were forced in.
Yeah.
The old ones chose it. You know, these Kikos.
I suppose.
These Kikos are they're not real Kikos. We're the true ones.
Are you searching for like the most offensive possible variation of this new term?
Not offensive. I'm just searching for the one that slides off the tongue.
Oh, they all slide off to shit.
You know, what would society, if you had to say the word all the time, you're not going to always say hikikoki koki koki mori. So you're going to come up with something.
I say shut-in.
Yeah, neats is there, but neat is a very
neat is specific.
It's specific and it's European, right? Not in education.
And also, you can be extroverted and be a neat.
Neat. I believe neat is European. So you know that ended up getting borrowed over. Was it? No, it's not European. So what is it? I thought it was European. What is it?
Like, take for example, because like pointing out that like
it's Japanese.
Okay. Are neats, right?
Yeah.
It's like neat is one of those square rectangle things.
Mm-hmm.
Where like a hikikomori is a neat, but neats aren't necessarily hikikomoris. Because like my brother is technically a neat because he's not in education, employment, or training, but that's just because he's an asshole and can't keep a job.
Right. Okay.
Right? Like he's just a fucking piece of shit.
You know what? Okay. I just remembered. There's another term that is British that I confused in my head. I remember when I was watching, I forgot what that was a British superhero show, and there was a dude that was called an ASBO, and it was an antisocial behavior person, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that was the other term I was thinking of. ASBO is the one that's British.
Wow, that sounds like shit.
Yeah, if you're an antisocial person,
That's
Misfits had that, and I was like, oh, okay. And Need is the Japanese one, right? Okay, right. Anyway, all that to say that there's definitely got to be some sort of like some opinions are flying about how everybody must be living that life right now, and there might be some that that never leave it. You know,
I'm gonna look back on my stream archive, and I believe I actually had a haircut like a couple weeks before all this shit popped off, like in February. Which means,
yeah, you can always tell.
Which means I can, if I so choose. Yeah, I got a haircut back in maybe January. Then, I can just let it ride.
So,
and become the human timeline.
You notice how now when you're going, are you searching for the most offensive version of this? It's like ASBO, which is just antisocial, right? That hits the ear in such a way where you go, ooh, that feels like it could be.
I don't like it.
It sounds ooh, right? It has,
I don't like it at all.
It has all the familiar properties of something that's like yikes, but it's not, right? So the question is now is like, what if you're gonna pick 2 or 3 syllables out of hikikomori? You know, like what are you gonna grab there? Is it the kik part? Is it the H part? Is it the mori? Like, what is the part that makes it go like?
I'd like to use some Star Trek here, because this is what let me figure out what created, like, what is the etymology of like the most racist sounding word possible. You ever seen a Cardassian in Star Trek? They're the fucking snake dudes.
Yeah, they're the non-Klingons.
So that's one way to put it. So didn't they
fight? Did they have wars?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did.
Right. So
so they have 2 racist terms for them. The fucking flat out is just your cardies, right? Which uses your basic. Let's take the ethnic group or nationality and shorten it with ease. And then you have spoonheads.
Okay.
Because they have the divot in the middle of their forehead.
Oh, okay.
And those just hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that...
Like, spoonhead sounds like fucking intense.
Yes, it does. That sounds like what you call them as you're putting them down.
It does. And it is.
Okay, well, there you go.
And so when I think about it, it's like, okay, your standard is blank ease. That always hits. But hikikomori doesn't work that way because it already has hickey and mori. So hickeys and like it's
yeah.
But English phrase 2-syllable descriptor words are where you want to go, right? And actually, it kind of in my head, it kind of rolls back to shut in, or I don't know, the unwashed, or
I mean, I guess so, but like it's, you know, it definitely feels like you got to take 2 syllables. It's kind of like the same, similar to the way that Japan grabs 2 syllables and the first one of your last name and puts them all together. So you get the triple syllable shortcut, right? In this case, you kind of, for English, you got to grab 2 and then just you add the IES or the R at the end. Hickers, Moris. Yeah, there's.
I'm not doing that one. I'm not doing that. That's a fucking gun to my mouth.
Well, just don't stumble over it. But in any case,
It's just like I've always said that when I ran into her, she was very nice, very talented, great cosplayer. but the very famous Jessica cosplayer. I don't ever want to say her full name. It feels like a trap. It's terrifying.
All you have to do is slow down, hit your focus trigger.
Dude, I have a speech
and then
I screw up words all the time.
Wait for the circling like crosshairs to overlap, and when they overlap, you say nigiri, and then you nailed it.
It's so close.
But you gotta hold your focus button and wait for the overlapping cursors. That's it. Don't fuck up. Oh shit! I hit it too early. I stumbled, and then you tried to correct it mid-sentence, but by cutting yourself off. Yeah. It's like when you try to say the Knicks and the Lakers at the same time. Poor.
Oh, that's what happened, isn't it?
Poor sports announcer.
That sucks.
Yep. Language.
But it's also fun to see. It's like, like you hate to see it.
Well, I mean, I love
too.
to see it because I had no idea that those Potara earrings could create such a powerful warrior.
Yeah.
I'd been staring at these two basketball teams the whole time, and little did I know that we were one fusion away from absolute power.
Disaster. Oh, yes. Absolute power, yes.
Yeah, so... Anyway.
Oh God, I love coffee so much now, dude.
Coffee good. Coffee good.
It helps.
Water helped too.